Hello. I was really looking forward to this talk, and the more I was reading up to be as prepared as I can, the more I thought that makes total sense that I wanted to talk to you for quite some time already. So this is Back Talk. I am Yelizaveta Federmesser, and my guest is Ruba Al-Sweel. Hello.
Hi.
Ruba, you are described mostly online as a artist, writer, and curator. Is there anything else you think is important to add?
I think that's more than enough.
I think, well, everybody decides for themselves in that regard, but I looked at how much you've been doing, and I was, I think I was snooping really online. I'm sorry, it might sound creepy, but that's what you do when you
I love it.
prepare, when you prepare for the pod. Um, so I actually wanted to start with your recent post. I thought it was hilarious when you posted that what if I break character and drop my skin routine online? I thought that was
Right.
hilarious for a few reasons. First, because I also often think about breaking character and dropping whatever I do online. And secondly, because in everything you put out online, mostly, I noticed at first a lot of theory and philosophy and all this cultural writing and in-depth thoughts. And I thought that somehow something was missing, and perhaps it was the skincare routine. So this idea of breaking the character, then I followed up in the hyperindexical, your latest publication, which is the full title is Hyperindexical Intermediality and Your Face, that you published
Right.
it earlier this year. And I thought the idea of breaking character was really all over the place there in the best way possible. So, how do you deal with your character online? And just what is it, your character?
Oh, wow. That's a really nice question. I never actually thought about it. I guess I'm just like at the moment, like I go through cycles, and at the moment I'm leaning more towards just saying whatever is on my mind. And I think that I'm trying to shed as much pretense as possible, even to myself. Um, I think, we all have like an image of, who we think we are, and then who we think people think we are. And we're just kind of, yeah, oscillating in between and then getting lost meanwhile. And I think I'm now in this kind of phase where I'm like, if I think I kind of want to write anything that comes to mind, even if it comes out as like schizo or like isn't completely a well formulated thought yet, but is in the process of like arriving somewhere. And I think it's really a reaction to being trained as a writer in this like formulaic way. I think I was trained in the tradition of like these like trade art publications um that you know make you write in a way where there's like a thesis, an argument, and then a conclusion. And I worked with a lot of editors that pushed me in this direction. Um, and I went on like, again, it skits out like a tirade on stories just today, right? Like writing about writing, and
Yes.
um, how like I thought that writing was a mode of communication that could really reflect like someone's inner world. Not that I think my inner world is special or anything. I feel like that's how you connect to the world. It's when you understand your inner world. And I think that for the longest time, I thought that writing in this fashion would achieve that. And it quickly proved to be um, kind of a massive fail in a way, because I don't know. It comes from a long line of trying to make everything material like this material, like linguistic position where everything can be absorbed into symbols or structures or laws. And like obviously like the natural condition of the human being is like ineffable and like resists really being symbolized. So I don't know. Yeah, and I think this book, I mean, just and stop me if I go on tangents or whatever, and you want to ask specific questions. But I think this publication was really the first time I write on a very different register. It was a little bit like it was very, very different for me, if I'm honest. Everything I've ever published was from that kind of history of writing that I was trained on. But this in particular was, again, a break in character. Um, and yeah, I wrote in this like compact sort of meta language that is sort of a result of like AI and like neural nets and stuff where yeah, I don't know. Does that make sense?
For me, it totally does. But I also think that I personally think that we have to often like justify the language in which we write for some like other authority that's gonna judge it. I think I've been like schooled really hard on writing or whatever academia that I exercise. And I feel like sometimes, especially when I was reading the hyperindexical, I thought that, I saw that the same trail of thought in the trash can ideology text from the post, where there was a sentence about the Bugatti and like die young, live fast, die young. And I would be like, wow, that totally breaks from the norm of like quoting here this and quoting here that. And I love that. I think that's the poetry that makes it exciting, and that's your personal take on what's happening. So I think when we try to explain that it became influenced by neural networks, I'm just questioning maybe it's just how people think, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you bring that up because I think in my like quote unquote whatever journey, I tried to really dissolve the reader. I really needed to be in a remove from the reader in order to access different modes of writing, because I think the way we're trained is that we need to think about the way it lands and how it's formatted and what it means, and you know that serves a purpose maybe in like PR and political campaigns and stuff. Like you need to think about how it resonates with the masses or whatever. But I think I needed to really deliver whatever was like inside of me and like forget that it existed or that it belongs to me, because now it belongs to the reader and they can do whatever they want. And I think that's a form of collective writing that goes beyond me. It takes on a life of its own and it lives somewhere else. And that's what I mean about the connection between the inner and outer world, and how it's like you necessarily have to have a deep understanding of your inner world in order to understand and have empathy and compassion and appreciation even for the outer world. And I think that yeah, and that's the only way that you can really recognize the infinity of the worlds stretching both ways. And sorry if this sounds like I'm like I don't know, like on drugs or something.
No, it's great. It's 10 in the morning for me. I'm like really prepped.
Sorry about that. But I hope it makes sense.
It does.
I said what I said, and now it belongs to the world.
Okay. You know what? To break this already very hyper theoretical talk, let's do the back TSA. That's a
Yeah.
actually. I was reading a lot of your text when I was on a vacation, and I went into the hyper focus to being like, okay, I need to like refresh some, get some new ones, and then afterwards I was really excited and I had a lot of thoughts pumping, and I was like, okay, and then I needed to calm down, so I turned on What's in Your Bag video by Vogue, and I was like, wow, I really do come back to those. Like, they're such a palette cleanser for me. So, okay, Ruba, what's in your bag? And what's your bag? What is your bag?
Certainly not a gun, as we established in the beginning. Not carrying. But okay. In my bag, a bunch of shit, if I'm honest. I only use like 20% of this, and I've promised myself that I need to get rid of most stuff so I can use at least 80%, but that's yet to be achieved. I have half of a iced black tea that I got today. There's always a beverage at hand. Vitamins.
Wow.
I'm really in my vitamin era.
Well, can I have a question? How do you carry all your vitamins for a week, like throughout the week?
Exactly. Exactly. Good question. Yeah,
that's actually, maybe that's the 80% cut.
Exactly.
No judgment though. Respect for the vitamins, omegas.
No, one day I'm gonna really like shed more and more and get rid of my supplements. Gum.
You're in Seoul now?
I'm in Gwangju. In South Korea. Yeah.
Do you get some cool gum there?
Yeah. Electrolytes. There's only one tablet in here, so I don't know why I'm carrying the whole thing, and I should just like drink it right now and get rid of it, but it's still in there. I have this idea that I'm gonna get really thirsty one day and really need it. Like, I don't know. A bunch of sachets. So I'm a big sachet truther. Like, I have this like powdered kombucha that you can just pour into water. Moisturizer in a sachet.
Have you been living in the USA ever?
No, I'm based in Dubai, but I was born in the US.
Because I just asked, because sachets like this, for me, this is like Stanley Cup and an American girl. And I don't know why. You know what I mean?
You mean like my accent?
No, not your accents. I mean your the sachet for just having a sachet, having electrolytes.
Right.
That is so American to me. Well, once I met my stoner friends, they were always carrying sachets of Nespresso coffee, and I don't know why it was helping them. But
I would not know that, even though the preamble to this episode sounds like I'm a stoner, but I would not know. I don't know if maybe it's US hegemony on like that culture. I don't know, but that sounds annoying. Like, that actually really motivates me to clean up my bag more, I guess. But yeah, I have a Metro Access card. Vaseline. I know it's weird, but I carry, again, the 80% showing up again. The whole ass tub of Vaseline in my bag.
I think it's very cute and wholesome. That's caring behavior.
There's always this like idea that I need the thing, and then when I need it, I'm gonna need the whole thing. I don't know.
Do you carry a bottle of perfume?
No, I don't. But I have painkillers.
Of course, the classic.
And some Huda Beauty products. So I have this lip contour.
Is it good?
Actually, listen, I love Huda Beauty because of her, like, she's super vocal about Palestine and doesn't care about risking anything. But this was not great for me.
Okay.
I have to be honest. Yeah, I felt like it was a bit of a scam. It doesn't. Yeah, I guess it happens. Like, there's always a dud in like a business. And then I bought some Korean stuff. So I found this like lip tint after I was like disappointed by Huda Beauty. And it's so good. It's so good. Like, honestly, Korean products are the answer.
It's a lip tint, not a lip gloss.
Yeah, a lip tint.
Have you ever tried this thing where they paint the lips like black, blue, and then it like rubs off?
I never tried it, but I want to. I really, really want to.
I really also want to, because I just like the shimmer also when it's black, blue. I think it's crazy.
Speaking of shedding skin, for sure. Wired headphones. I'm still like holding on to these. I'm not gonna make the migration to wireless headphones. These, I feel like I need to get connected to the source. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just need to constantly, yeah. And then an iPhone charger, like, of course.
What's the bag?
The bag is this like leather black bag that I got from Venice. I've had this for 4 years and it's going so strong.
It looks gorgeous.
So I'm never gonna let it go.
Were you on a film festival?
Oh no, I was there for the Venice Biennale.
I know that tomorrow there is an event where your film is going to be screening. My First Phone.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one. I've seen the one about Moscow Hotel Doesn't Want Your Tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. But I haven't seen the other one. What is it about? How is it linked?
Yeah. So First Phone, I created it. I think like central to the idea was like being an NPC during world or like era making events. So like particularly like being someone scrolling on their phone, witnessing all of these things and sort of being collateral damage to these things happening. And I made this in May 2024. So it was around the time that Houthis were hijacking the shipping routes. So like a lot of it's quite funny because a lot of like Europeans and Americans were not getting their like shipments, their deliveries. All the Korean like lip tints, all the deliveries from whatever Alibaba and Shein were not being delivered because the ships were being hijacked by Houthis in protest to increased hostility from Israel in Palestine. Yeah, it was just, I think I wanted to drive this idea that like catastrophe is really indifferent to geography, even if you experience it in these small ways as like collateral damage. Yeah, it was just really, really interesting to see how like life through the screen kind of weathers like geopolitical unrest and looking at Houthis sort of broadcasting in real time their attempts at hijacking these ships and stuff like that. I think the video also employs a similar visual and like just kind of textual language as hyperindexical. Just kind of spits out non-linear writing, but that somehow kind of communicates some truth, I guess.
I actually was thinking a lot about this duality of the medium, the writer and the video director. I think it becomes more and more like popular, but also somewhat coherent with the development of lots of writers' style towards this more chaotic essay video format, which feels chaotic on paper, but somehow in video art was present for super, super long. This like non-linearity, layering, back and forth, etc., which is just in general at the core of editing a film. So I thought, what did this make the connection for you to make a film, or are you into becoming an ex Sofia Coppola or something like that?
Not at all. I don't think I have any ambitions to like. I didn't even want to create film. I think it just happened by accident. I think I realized that writing became super limiting for me. It no longer became something that made me feel joy, to be quite frank. I actually really I would dread commissions whenever I got a commission to write. And I felt like, am I just like a bad writer? Surely I should be enjoying like something that I really love. And I feel like something that is like cooking and needs to be ripe, like it wants to ripen inside of me. So I guess that was like an alarming thing. And then I started like experimenting. And it's a really like, I think, daunting process because you open yourself up to, I guess, ridicule and yeah, you become vulnerable to people's opinions in a way when you don't do the format that they're used to seeing from you. But I realized that people like resonated with it a lot more than what I was doing before. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. I guess it just was, I realized that there was a limitation to the way that I was doing things. I guess I realized that it was resisting a lot of the communication I was trying to put out. It was just not capturing what I was trying to say. And so just kind of stitching together these words and these images and creating worlds. And
there are like a few things I would like to question from here. First, I think I really love the quote, "The camera is the most biblically accurate guardian angel." from the hyperindexical. I think it's the other highlight from breaking the character for me in general for what I'm reading from you. And it's very in depth, and also it's sort of questions this. It questions a lot, but also I think I like that it actually references your. Often you talk about in your writing about the sacred and the profane together with deep theory, the duality of religious iconography, but also in terms of language and putting those words in writing. I feel like a lot of those things just like sparkle out. Yeah, what was I? Gosh, yeah. You see the sparkling of the thought. It's just going all over the place.
I think I just wanted to comment on the camera. So that line is actually a widely circulated meme, which, you know, the author is unknown.
Yeah.
And I think it resonated with me because I really I love cameras, I love hardware, I love understanding like the ontology of technology, the evolution of like technology and stuff like that. And I think in this publication, I really centered the camera as like this this deity. Like there's, I mean, cameras are so prevalent in the world, not in like, I mean, not only are they on our phones and in our hands at all times, but like there's literally more cameras than faces in the world. And I kind of employed this like funny twist on kind of maybe falling in love with this thing that's like omnipresent and follows you everywhere. We perform for the camera. We kind of exalt it to like a level of a deity. So you're right in that there's like, you know, biblical undertones and religiosity like that I think forms like my attachment to the hardware.
Also, I literally have it outlined here that in the text about the name of this trash can is ideology. You have, but what if we kissed at the intersection of the sacred and the profane? So I think this talks like sacred and the profane intersection is pretty much the cringe equals sublime intersection. But the camera is the most biblically accurate guardian angel. I didn't know it's a meme, but I think there is also some sort of love for the guardian angels, you know? They're not really feared as much. And I love that subtlety in that. Because if that would be just a biblical deity, that would be just something perhaps mighty and overpowering. But guardian angel is like your friend, as if, even though it watches upon you all the time. And it's creepy.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that there's obviously this love, but also hate relationship with the camera. I think more than hate, there's resentment. The guardian angel sometimes fails to protect you. And I think that kind of captures a lot of like the tension in dealing with these everyday technologies. I recently watched Peter Vack's film RachelOrmont.com, and I think I hope I got the name correct. I think it's .com, but
the link.
No, that's literally I think the title.
I know. Yeah, but indeed.
I think he really captures like this tension very, very brilliantly, that the characters are performing through content to something that provided like a lifeline to them. Like they're supposed to perform to a camera and to an audience. So there's that like, you know, you are my lifeline, but at the same time, like there's this resentment that I constantly have to work for it in a way.
Also, I remember you were recently looking for people possessed by their iPhones. What? And also, I remember you were looking to buy a lot of body cams and just document everything. Did you do that?
So yeah, these are just early thoughts. This is for my project here in Gwangju. I'm working on a film actually, and this is probably the first film that's more traditionally narrative. It's a docu-fiction, so it writes on two registers. There's this big sort of interview section where I'm going to talk to real life like philosophers and thinkers, about the film. I don't want to give out too much, but
Mm-hmm.
basically, there will be this register where there's like actual sort of speculating and thinking, and then there's the fiction part where I mean, I'm quite boldly calling it a value chain epic of the Chinese century, and it's a docu-fiction of like this full circle story that follows the journey of like a secondhand phone. It's stolen and resold, and kind of in the journey, it reveals that it's actually from Shenzhen in China, specifically from a building that's colloquially known as the stolen iPhone building. And then, yeah, the phone sort of talks back to the protagonist, and sort
Mm-hmm.
of in the narrative, I just kind of slowly unfold questions around the economies and ontologies of like scaled up technology. Also a lot of like thinking about like e-waste and like where hardware goes to die, and like the architecture of like accelerated like connectivity in the world. I think um I wanted to position the phone as this like disincarnate sort of being, or like this civilizing trickster that sort of, yeah, descends and sort of helps us build and establish infrastructure and society through communicating with the protagonist. Um, and yeah, it's the first time I write on this like this way that's like closest to narrative, but we'll see. We'll see.
Congrats. That's a big step.
Thank
I was wondering, with the part where I mean, as I said before, you quote a lot of philosophers and thinkers, and now you're going to include them in a film. But I always find, okay, I have an anecdote, which I think will tie this thought back to. So I just finished reading All Fours by Miranda July. It's not really it's not really about the book, the anecdote. So I was retelling the narrative to my boyfriend, and he was really not impressed. He was like, this sounds like she's just insane, and she's just not handling her life, and I don't understand why are you even reading this. But I'm like, but you don't understand, she's really sharing her deeper inner thoughts, and you following her just like what she's thinking in the moment, so it all makes much more sense. And he's like, yeah, I don't understand. I'm like, I think that's because men just don't share what they're feeling all the time, and
Brilliant.
that's just, you find it alienating or something. He's like, but that's not true. And I'm like, well, prove me wrong. And he's like, but what about all the philosophers? And I just gasped, and I was like, that's the whole point, that they had to create an actual science to talk and vent about their feelings, so they would that would make sense to them, instead of just like venting out and gossiping. That would be a whole actual science you can study at the university. So I was really, yeah, I think that was my personal anecdote from my life, where I was like, that totally makes sense. But perhaps I was too passionate in that argument, and I'm not really taking full responsibility.
I don't know All Fours. I'm not too familiar. I haven't read it, but I just looked up the synopsis, and it sounds like Eat, Pray, Love for like women on SSRIs. Like, I don't know.
Oh, well, what I can say is that reading that on a vacation was perhaps not the best idea. It really makes you doubt your own sanity, and then actually in the end you're like, oh my god, actually I'm absolutely fine. Life is great. I still have hope in humanity, even though it dwindles by the second. But
good to like have these like checks on your sanity, and then like also enjoy the moments of insanity, like those touches of crazy.
Yes, but also performed by other people on the pages of a book. You're completely, detached from it, even though I love how a book can really suck you in, and then you have like no free will, even though it's just a piece of paper. I think it's really fun.
Totally, like really pushing yourself to something.
Yeah, and exactly this, actually going back to this idea of text versus image. This is like the ultimate image maker is the text. So I'm I don't think I would be thinking so much and talking about if I just saw a film all fours. I wonder.
Mm.
That would be way harder, I think. Also, maybe just the time count of how much time you spend reading and watching a film. That's a bit different. But yes, actually, back to the question. Including the thinkers and philosophers in your film, what role does it play for you personally?
Including them or just them in life?
Including them in like your film.
I think it would mark a moment of breaking the fourth wall because it's usually a one-way communication where I just listen to them and learn and take notes or something. But I mean, that's kind of about it. And I mean, I'm just super grateful that I've already contacted a few and they're excited about the prospect and idea. So I'm just like grateful that there are other people who believe in like the idea and stuff like that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That's always really nice. But
Yeah.
what fourth wall?
Of existing in the world.
Breaking the character.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's interesting. This sort of theoretical anchoring, it's just the grounding for so many things. You often do a callback to Lana Del Rey, which I absolutely love. Which is
Yeah.
equally as important, I think, as some of the best thinkers of our time, which she is one of them, 100%. I actually had another fun question. What do you think about her new Ozempic fashion?
I love Lana Del Rey. I love all her eras. I love following all her like flops, her glow ups, her mishaps, her posts and deleted posts. I think that she's a great writer. She also writes in this way that's becoming a lot more normalized because of things like ChatGPT or something, but she really does write in this way that makes parallels between seemingly unrelated things in her writing, which I think, only the machine has achieved recently. Yeah, she's an all-time favorite. Sorry, your question about her Ozempic era.
Go on.
Her Ozempic era, it doesn't change anything. I mean, I'm happy for her, but it doesn't change anything for me. The parasocial relationship is as strong as ever.
Agree. I was just thinking that she was non-conforming to the general starlet of today by, as you say, even by her BMI, which is changing now. So I'm like, are we in the era of conformity? I hope not.
I think she will always find a reason not to conform. I mean, look at her husband now,
The alligator
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a choice. That's a bold choice.
It's a deliberate statement.
Mm-hmm. I I also have outside the quote, but to preface it, I think there's a game I play with myself sometimes, which is called the dumbest dream. It's like the dream that you, on multiples actually, that you wish you could perform, but they are so other character life that they might never happen. But it would be fantastic to leave this moment out. And I have a few. One of them is like to drive a Formula One car. I don't know. I love speed. But I had this quote from you. I dreamt my face appeared on every screen. Do you have any dumb thoughts like that you would love to experience, like dumb dreams scenarios, apart from like an every screen face, which is actually epic? I have a parallel to that where I would love to be on a perfume commercial and be like slammed all over the duty free. I think that's just cool.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I wrote that as a nightmare. It's actually not so much like something I crave or coveted. And I think I kind of want to just like preface maybe my answer with, or frame it a bit conceptually. The whole sort of publication looks at the face as this tool that's very much becoming part of a larger kind of machine of co-option. It's literally like learning data for the machine. So I kind of wanted to like position the face in a mimetic context, like the face as networked content. And I wanted to look at it through semiotic theory of like whatever sign, symbol, index. I was thinking of the face as like amoebic, like something that shapeshifts and like dissolves, and it's constantly morphing, whatever, and it's like reshaping to fit its environment. I think conceptually, I relied a lot on, and sorry, stop me if I start like going on tangents, but conceptually, I relied a lot on like mimetics and allegory, and I borrowed from Greek tragedy as well. Like I wanted to kind of draw parallels between like the comment section and like the Greek chorus, for example, which is like this group historically known for being like who comments like in unison on the actions of the scene in a theater, like playing to an audience. Yeah, and I thought that
Beautiful part. I remember that. And the comment
yeah,
section transition. That was great.
thank you. Yeah, so I basically felt like these like people in the comment section, they fill the gaps in narrative, they intensify the plot, they stoke sympathies and pathos and ethos and all of that. And I sort of felt like these dramatic functions are played out in the comment section now in these like creative commons of like networked media. So yeah, back to the nightmare story. I wanted to focus in the publication on kind of everyday violences of like living in a media world where the face is categorically like public domain. So there's a lot of themes around like doxing and like through this nightmare where like one dreams of like seeing their face projection mapped on like high rises. I also wanted to look at like the nightmare of like gossip and lying and the circulation of images that essentially become a way of like affirming reality, like a form of like moral bonding. And I guess the reason it was less a dream and more a nightmare to have that kind of attention is like after I watched The Face of Another by Kobo Abbey, which it follows this man who had to wear like a flesh-like mask, and it was modeled after the face of another person, and he had to like experience the world through another face, and he sort of like the whole film he just like reports his sensations and thoughts to his psychiatrist. So yeah, sorry, I'm going on like complete tangents, but
It's all good.
I was interested in like the face that becomes more than what it is, like that kind of change in meaning and signification. And if you look at like, for example, like Laura Palmer's portrait in like Twin Peaks, it really makes the entire series. It's like the plot and the through line of the whole thing. And like I think another face that like stuck with me, and a lot of people sort of talk about this, is Sion Zhao's mugshot. She's this like, have you heard of her, the Art Basel Miami stabber who people thought was just performing art?
No.
Okay, so
that paints a picture.
Yeah, so this poor girl was at Miami Art at Art Basel Miami, and she claimed that she was hearing voices in her head that were telling her that another woman was an ISIS agent and that she had to protect the art. And so she stabbed her. I think this was a long time ago, like 10 years ago or something. And so she stabbed her and obviously got in trouble and deported. And so, yeah, that's when I wrote, like, I'm just a girl asking for damnatio memoriae in an incredibly amnesiac network. Because, like, if you think about Sion's face, her face, like, resists erasure. It really does, like, circulate everywhere online now. It's practically a meme that has no reference. Like, people don't know what it's referring to. So it really resists erasure, but it will never be remembered for what she is or what she did. So yeah, I I found that
I
fascinating.
need to Google her face, but after the pod. Wow. I'm making this thinking face just because I realize how many face is a very complex subject and object to reflect on, especially the face of yourself. You literally
Mm.
need other things to see it. And it's the most invisible part for us. So I think for me that looking for another perception of this, also the positioning of this, perhaps even an item outside in the world, it's really timely. Like I wonder if the Zion face would ever surrender to history in any other timeline. You know,
Y-
it's
Yeah.
very much indeed a place of intermediality, where
Mm.
intermediality is sort of guiding your perception of the face in the
Yeah,
time.
we're not, I don't think we were ready cognitively. We haven't evolved, or maybe we're in the process of evolving to see ourselves that much. Like I don't think we were meant to see ourselves that much. But I do think a lot about like mirrors and webcam parallels, obviously. And while like writing this Zine, I was researching like why people like cover the webcam, and then I realized that there's like a history like dating back to the 17th century of people actually covering their mirrors as well, and they
I
kind of
think
just
even older. I think
probably older.
because
Yeah.
I would remember that you quoted. Sorry, I intersect, but I was reading that and I was like, well, but for me, it's like a really really old pagan thing that you have to cover all the windows if somebody died. That must be really really old, like way before
Mhm.
17th century. Because in 17th century there were not that many pagans, I think
Mm.
already, but that must be going before. But sorry, continue.
No, that's kind of about it. I just found it really interesting that people cover their cameras and cover their mirrors. Like there's something there.
And the idea of the iconoclasts killing the faces, I love that. I'm big on the iconoclasm as a part of the as a
Yeah.
part of an era. Yeah, but stretching up your band-aid on your webcam, that's poetic. It's it's very
Yeah, I
junky.
think iconoclasts know very well like the power of images. They destroy them because they understand that, and they understand that, an image can participate in the creation of reality. Like if you think about, like, for example, like Islam, it's a very iconoclast religion, and icons, statues, images, all of these are sort of considered forbidden because of their like potential of creating a reality.
But the text, though, is then brought up, right? Instead of the image. I just remember in Istanbul,
Mm,
the church, the Sophia church that then became a mosque, and then
mm,
everything, all the images got covered with those gorgeous, like black boards with golden writing. And so there
mm.
was like literally text instead of an image,
Right, right.
which is
I mean, text is like the original image, and like it's made a lot more obvious now with like text to image, AI. Like first, you know, in the beginning was the word, like literally.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's an interesting relationship there.
I feel like I have butterflies in my brain now.
Oh, I hope in a good way.
It's absolutely in a good way. Um, Before also preparing, I was in Berlin and there is a beautiful show of Julian Rosenfeld, and there is a video work, The Stuntman. It's about a stuntman breaking into the house and then cleaning everything. And you see simultaneously the version of life without a stuntman and destruction, and the life with a stuntman where he just breaks everything and then cleans it. And it just made me think about being a stuntman in your own cineverse. I think it's like the other version of the NPC. It's actually the in between of between the NPC and the main character is the stuntman. And I thought being the stuntman That's pretty cool.
It's a really nice position, I guess, to resist like the extremes, the extremes of like erasure, like NPC, and the extremes of like perception and being seen at all times.
Not
Moderate
being
position.
but also being not afraid to take on the risk because they're the ones risking it as well for other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Ruba, thank you so much.
Chris,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for talking to me.
This was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you had fun. I definitely did, and I'm really glad we finally talked.
Yay. I hope you go back to sleep or something because I know it's really early.
I hope so too.
Thank you. Bye. I hope you have a good day.